You got lucky. All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now at GBA Reviews, the good, the bad, and the atrocious. I am your host today. All right, so today we're looking at a 2017 film by the name of Tigers Are Not Afraid. Now, this film comes from Mexico, all right, and it has an all-young cast for the majority. Now, this film follows this young girl who's been orphaned, and she ends up clicking up with a bunch of other young kids who are also orphaned. And there's a gang in the neighborhood who's causing all kinds of havoc. They're causing great pain to a lot of the people there. And this movie basically follows the interactions between these young kids and that gang in the area. Now, I don't want to give away too much of the details because, like I said, this is a spoiler-free review. And this film is amazing. And I really want you guys to watch this movie and appreciate it for what it really is. So, with that being said, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The good in this film, although this is a Spanish film and it helms from Mexico, so there are subtitles. I'm letting you know this now. All right, so the cast in this movie is amazing. The kids do a fantastic job, right? So you have these child actors, and then usually you can tell that a lot of these actors are kind of wet behind the ears. You can't really tell that with these kids. These kids are very believable. The elements of their acting is just outstanding, right? Now, another aspect of this movie is there's like this slight fantasy element, all right? And although, like, if you've seen like movies like Pan's Labyrinth, this movie reminds me of that movie. But just, it's just from Mexico instead of Spain. But the fantasy elements of this movie are fantastic because it kind of takes the story and it kind of puts it in a child's perspective. Like, I can't even go into it because I don't want to ruin it. All right, so you're just going to have to watch it. What else do I like about this movie? Even the adult cast in this movie does an amazing job. This movie is, I know that they tried, there are some horror elements of this movie, but it's not necessary. I wouldn't consider it, honestly, a horror movie, right? I would consider it more like a drama, slightly fantasy. A drama more than anything. All right, so let's talk about, now the script in the movie is also amazing too. The story that they tell in this movie and the whole redemption arc is outstanding. This is a film, all right? It's not a movie, it's a film. It really builds itself from beginning to end. It really takes great pleasure in telling a good story and developing these characters and making you care about these characters. It is a film, all right? That's one thing I love about this movie. It's a film. And I'm probably going to end up buying this on Steelbook as soon as I get a chance to. But let's talk about the bad. Are there any bad elements in this movie that can be overlooked? Some of the CGI in the film might not be so pleasant to the eye. But at the same time, when you look at it as it's from the perspective of a child, you can kind of overlook it because it's, like I said, the movie is from the perspective of a child. So the CGI might look wonky because it is from a child's perspective. Now, what else? Other than that, honestly, I can't see any other bad elements in this film. So let's go ahead and start moseying on down to the atrocious. Is there anything atrocious in this film? Honestly, in my perspective, it's not. This movie is a very great film from beginning to end. It tells a great story. It makes you care about the characters. It develops these characters, right? And that's the whole thing with developing a good film. Making you care about the characters, making you watching them develop, watching them come into their own. And then sometimes you even watch them change. Their personalities change, right? But like I said, this movie is a story about redemption. One could even say that it's about revenge, but it develops the story nicely. And then the one thing I love is that at the end of the story, you have that sense of fulfillment. It is some sad elements in this movie, but at the same time, it's needed in order to progress the story forward. And if I had to give this movie a grade out of 5, I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 5 because it was that damn good. This movie will keep you entertained and mesmerized with its story. It will keep you intrigued, and it'll keep your eyes glued to the screen. Now, the only thing I can think of is personal perspective. If you don't like subtitles, again, if you don't like subtitles, then you're probably going to find a problem with this movie because it has subtitles in it. Some people don't like subtitles. They can't relate to the movie. They can't watch the movie. They can't interact with the movie. They can't even get involved with the movie because it has subtitles. If you can find a way to look past that, or if you're already used to reading subtitles because maybe you watch anime or something, then definitely you're not going to have a problem watching this movie. This movie is amazing. I would recommend anybody to go watch this movie, especially if you like movies such as Pan's Labyrinth. All right, so you're at GBA Reviews. I'm your host, Davey from the 80s, and I will see you next time. Adios.